Do artists really have to starve to be true to their craft? Must the business side of creativity drain all inspiration? No, it does not. 5 minutes on creative entrepreneurship can help you master the business side of creativity, reap greater rewards from your talent, and enjoy your work to the fullest.
I'm so glad trouble don't last always.
How much money do you have in the bank right now? I bet you have a pretty accurate estimate without having to log into your banking app. And how much do you spend each month on basics like rent, food, and entertainment? I bet you have a good idea of your basic expenses as well. But how many minutes do you spend each week on your work? Not just your billable work, but your administration, financials, and marketing. If you can't answer these questions, then it's time to start measuring and monitoring your minutes. I'm Eric Holter, and I've been a serial creative entrepreneur for over 3 decades. After graduating from Rhode Island School of Design in 1991, I could cut and print beautiful wood engravings. But I had no idea how to run a business. They just don't teach enough about business in art school. We generally keep better tabs on our money than our minutes, but really it should be the other way around. Because while we might wish we had more money, it is possible that this wish could come true. But no matter how hard you wish for more than 60 minutes in an hour or 24 hours in a day, it'll never happen. Time is a constant. You can never expand this resource, and when it's gone, you never get it back. Since time is precious to all of us, and it's a fixed resource, we ought to be paying more attention to how we use our time, even than how we use our money. This goes double for creative entrepreneurs whose business model typically consists of selling time in one form or another. Since time is so precious and valuable, we ought to keep track of how we spend it. Fortunately, it's much easier today to keep track of our time than it's ever been. There are multitudes of time tracking tools which we can access from our computers and mobile devices. Some of these tools can track our time automatically. My favorite time tracking app is Harvest. I find its interface easy to use, and what's more, its reporting features are second to none. And when it comes down to it, it's not tracking your time that matters the most. It's evaluating and learning from your time that's the most valuable part of measuring your minutes. Also, in addition to making the commitment to tracking all of your professional time, including things like administration, communications, marketing, business development, and professional development, as well as your billable production time, you need to think through how you'll ultimately evaluate all this time. In fact, thinking from your evaluation intentions backwards will help you set up meaningful categories in the first place. There's a bit of an art to this. If you have too many time categories, it'll make time entry confusing and convoluted. But if you have too few, the patterns and insights your reports will reveal will be limited. So start with some questions that you would like your time reports to answer for you, and then devise your categories to reveal those trends. For example, ask yourself how your reports will help you estimate future projects more accurately. To do that, you'll want to match project categories with the phases you'll evaluate to establish estimates. Perhaps your process involves distinct research, concepting, production, and delivery phases. In this case, you would want to structure your project time categories accordingly. And here's a strong recommendation. For each project, or perhaps even for each project phase, set up a distinct communications category to track all the time you spend on the phone, writing emails, or having meetings throughout each phase of your process. As I've analyzed time reports from hundreds of projects over the years, I've found that the communication category accounts for 20% or more of overall project time. And it happens in such small doses that we tend not to think about how all that time adds up over the course of a project. And so our estimates and budgets often fail to account for it. And then we wonder why we keep going over budget. Tracking your time is a pain. Very few people enjoy keeping timesheets or starting and stopping timers. But becoming adept at recording and monitoring your time usage will pay dividends. Next week, I'll share some tips on living with and maintaining consistent, accurate, and complete time records. Until then, Don't let the business of creativity overwhelm your creative business.
5 Minutes on Creative Entrepreneurship is a podcast by Eric Holter, mentor to creative entrepreneurs. You can find more content and resources at erichholter.com. His book, Blazing the Freelance Trail, is available on Amazon in print, Kindle, and audio. If this podcast is helpful to you, be sure to share it with your colleagues, and ratings and reviews are always appreciated.
I'm so glad trouble don't last.